Welcome to the NCAA March Madness first round press conference with UCLA. We are joined by Charisma Osborne and Emily Bessoir. We ask that you please only ask questions when you have the microphone in your hand and that you state your name and publication. If you have joined us today through Zoom, we also ask that you please ask your questions in the chat and state your publication as well. Thank you, and we will begin with questions in the room.
Joe Rady, AP. Charisma, just 3 weeks ago, you were kind of saying your goodbyes here because you thought it was going to be your last game at Pauley. How does it feel after the Pac-12 tournament run to kind of know that you got hopefully 2 more here?
Yeah, it's fun. I'm super excited to be back here in Pauley. All of my teammates are really, just being in a familiar place, and we practice in here all the time, so it's super fun. And just to be able to have like our fans, like my family, come out and see me play here again is gonna be really fun.
Sabrina Merchant, The Athletic. For either of you, this is a relatively new experience for you guys together, playing in the tournament. I imagine most of you haven't even played in the tournament, the younger players on the team. How do you sort of balance that with also just wanting to be comfortable and knowing that, you're hosting for a reason?
Yeah, I think that we are at a really good spot with our team right now, confidence-wise. And at the end of the day, yes, it is the tournament, but it's also a game that we know how to play, and we've played this whole season. So yeah, there are more nerves and more emotions revolving around it, but I think we do a really good job of tuning that out during the game. And then we've had some players like Charisma, Cam, Gina, and I. And Angela, we've played NCAA tournaments before, so we have that leadership and that experience that we can help the younger players. But at the end of the day, I think we have really good confidence and are able to manage that.
And then how much does the Pac-12 schedule of Friday, Sunday, every weekend sort of help you with this rhythm?
A lot. We were actually just talking to Gina about it because obviously she previously played in the ACC, and she was saying how when her team made it that one year, it was an adjustment because they, I think, got 2 days in between playing. So I think it'll be helpful for us because we're just used to the schedule of playing every other day, I guess. So I think we're in a very comfortable spot and position.
What's it been like for both of you kind of seeing this group of freshmen grow throughout the season and, being the 2 of the more experienced players on the squad kind of help shepherd and develop them through?
Yeah, the freshman group, they've been so amazing. They're such sponges, but each and every one of them has their edge and their confidence, but they're also so willing to learn. So I think it's been super fun having them. They're a great addition to the team, and we just grew together as a team so much over the past few months.
Yeah, I agree with Emily. They've grown so much, and it's just been so fun to see them, from the beginning to now, to see, the players that they've become. And even just, I want to give a shout-out to all of the other, veterans, like Emily, Gina, Cam, Izzy, Bryn, Angela, I think that's everyone. Just for leading the way. Obviously it's not easy having a lot of freshmen who play a lot of minutes, and we're so fortunate to have them, but I think they wouldn't even be able to do what they've been doing really without the leadership that they've had. So I think the freshmen have been doing great, but then also the vets have really just been leading them really well.
Just also, what's it been like actually having depth this season after 2 to 3 years of, having a couple weeks of practice where you were going 3-on-3?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really good to know that whoever comes off the bench will give a spark, and that's the trust and the confidence that we have in our team.
Yeah, and it's just fun in practice to not have to go every rep. But it is nice to have a deeper bench, and we have so many people we can rely on and stuff like that. But it is super nice to go against the scout guys and only have to be in one group versus being in every single time. But yeah, it's just been super fun.
Also, just Charisma, how has your game changed this year? Because the last couple of years you've been counted to be the dominant scorer, but you've had some experience with the group where this year it's been the freshmen. And have you become more of a leader, or has your game on the court changed?
Yeah, I think it's changed a lot. Obviously, even the last 2 years, I was playing point guard more, and this year, I kind of got to go back to the shooting guard role a little bit more. So it's changed in that sense. But even just like with the freshmen, I think it's been so fun to have them because they have challenged me as a leader to just be a better teammate, just be more helpful to them because this is all just so new to them. But I think I have changed a lot. Like there's certain parts of my game that I really like that I've maybe gotten better at, or like just look at things differently. But definitely I would say the freshmen have helped me a little bit with that, just like figuring out how to lead them, how to lead each one individually, and things like that.
Yeah, she's been doing a great job.
Thank you.
Do we have any last questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Welcome to the NCAA March Madness first round press conference with UCLA. We are joined by head coach Corey Close. We ask that you please only ask questions when you have the microphone in your hand and that you state your name and publication. If you have joined us through Zoom today, please ask your questions in the chat and include your publication as well. Thank you, and we will start with an opening statement from the coach.
Thanks you all for being here. It just is, I feel like we're so late, you know, it's like, let's go. But just so thankful for all the people in the UCLA athletic department that have worked so hard to put us in a position to host. Thank you to the committee and for the other members of administrations across the country, the NCAA that put on this great event. This is, you know, I've been doing this 30 years, and it just never gets old. It's just such a special experience. And, you know, so just really grateful and excited to get out there and compete. We have great opponents here in our arena. We're looking forward to a great turnout. I hope SoCal, this is the only place you can see live NCAA basketball in Southern California. And we just hope that we not only get a chance to expose a lot of people to women's basketball, but we just get a chance to grow our game.
Sabrina Merchant, The Athletic. Coach, how nice is it to be able to share this experience with the men's team, too, all of you going through March Madness together?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many layers to that. Number one, the men's staff and team are just great guys, and we really have enjoyed just the camaraderie we felt. And obviously, it's at a heightened amount with Gabriela Jaquez and Jaime Jaquez and just that shared experience. What a phenomenal family. But, you know, I was rooting hard yesterday and just so excited to celebrate their success. And I think we really have a shared formula of success that it really is about toughness and togetherness. And it's been fun to watch what that looks like and plays out for the men. And I'm really excited to showcase what that's going to look like for us as well.
Did you guys have a watch party yesterday for the men's game?
We didn't. I was separate on my own. I actually was watching it with a couple of our donors that weren't able to make the trip up there. And so I had a great time doing that. But the reality is that I know every single one of our players are keenly tuned in.
Joe Reedy, Associated Press. Corey, what's it been like seeing Charisma's development this year? Because she was able to go back to shooting guard, but kind of the sage veteran on a team of youngsters.
Yeah, I think, you know, I think the emotional maturity that I've seen her develop as well as the leadership qualities, that's been the most rewarding for me to watch. That will carry with her into her pro career and far beyond after the ball goes flat. And, you know, and then she's so proud to represent Southern California and, you know, a windward kid and just, you know, but also her work ethic. You know, it's not been easy. She's battled some injuries. We've obviously had a lot of adversity through COVID. And I just think her work ethic, her drive, her perseverance is really coming into play at this point. And so she really is our seasoned veteran. She's the only one who's been through this at really this kind of level and in this kind of role, and just really thankful for her steadiness and the confidence in which she's earned.
What's been the biggest change or evolution in her game that you've seen this year?
Well, I think, you know, I think that she started out like gangbusters, right? And she was really shooting the three well. But I think she hit a tough spot in the middle where maybe she was relying on that a little too much and then was pressing to get that back instead of just being a really efficient player who uses everything in her toolbox. She's a great three-level scorer. She wasn't getting to the free throw line as much, which she's elite at because she wasn't driving to the cup as much. And so I think what I've seen her evolve through this year is get back to, I'm an efficient basketball player that knows how to read defenses, and I'm going to take the shots I'm given by the defense and be an efficient basketball player.
And then just on the state of the tournament in general, how good is it to see, you know, the March Madness branding, but also television finals going to be on ABC. Yeah. You've had to stagger start times now for 3 years, so television coverage is a little bit more in line with the men's tournament. It seems like things are continuing to evolve.
Yeah, so grateful. and there's been a lot of hard work by a lot of different parties to make those changes, and a lot of expenses put out to make significant changes towards gender equity in the two championships, and really, really grateful. The March Madness logo, I just think, and just the branding of that, I think makes a tremendous difference. I think the TV ratings continuing to go up in some of those magnified windows and using ABC, just the prizes and the opportunities. I mean, all of the things and the investments that have been made from the NCAA over the last few years are really, really important and greatly recognized and appreciated. That being said, I'm also really excited for a few that still need to be attacked. And I think that, really being able to separate and go to market as the new ESPN contract comes up to bid, I think that's an important next step, as well as meaningful unit distribution associated with the women's tournament. I think those are two aspects that I think are the great next steps. So really, really thankful for the steps that have been made, and they've already made tremendous difference in our game, and really excited to take a few more and watch this thing really soar.
Coach, I know you guys have had a very long runway in between Selection Sunday and the game, and I know it's been like one of your goals to try to manage your emotions throughout. Do you see that, like, I don't know, a little pings of excitement coming through the closer you guys get?
Yeah, I know. I can't speak for all of them. It sure is for me. But I think, it is a challenge, but it's also a blessing because, I think we get to heal up. I think we get to, tweak some things, especially with a young team. I'm really excited for some of the ways we've been able to grow since the Pac-12 tournament. I think we're a better team now. But I do see it. I see, I had 3 of the players in my office yesterday just watching games and talking about it, and what do you think about this? And, it's just sort of those moments where you want to go, shh, don't mess this up. You just want to enjoy seeing it through their eyes, and they're starting to really anticipate what's about to happen. And I think this is you just don't get to do this your whole life. These are special ones, and so I'm trying to manage the balance of like, hey, let's have great joy. And rely on our preparation, but also just pause and enjoy some of those special moments.
Corey, is there more pressure being a host? Because it for a long time it was if you were to host site, you had maybe 95, 98% chance of getting to the Sweet 16. And I think we've seen like the past couple years, it's gone down to maybe 75 to 70%, just with that parity and everything.
Well, I just think the parity in our game is just good for our game. I mean, obviously being a host school, I prefer the 95%, but when you look at it from a global perspective, that's what I think the men's tournament has led us down that path of that parity being great for everybody on the big scale. It allows you to draw more media rights coverage. It allows just how it fosters corporate sponsors and eyes on your game and the excitement from a broad as well as deep group of people that are paying attention to the games. So, when you look at it from what does our game need, this is right in line. This is great. And, next step I really challenge people with the 2 regional sites. We got to show up and show out at those 2 regional sites in Greenville and Seattle. We got to pack those places because that's sort of a next right step in terms of more neutral site games for more teams at the regional levels. And so, I think that it's important that as much as, I think it really helps you know the urgency that needs to go into every single game in preparation, because there's no guarantees, and that's both in the first and second rounds. That's at the regional levels. Parity is good, and new eyes, but also new names that people are seeing in our game are really important. And so I think that we want to continue to grow it from the grassroots level all the way up. And it starts with exposure, but then it also starts with great competitive games and even a few upsets along the way.
And then just what have you seen from Sacramento State? I mean, it's one of those in-state schools that you haven't played in a while.
No, but I'll tell you, over a big sample size, they're one of the most efficient offensive teams in the country. You know, their 5-player and their point guard are one of the best duos offensively in the country. And that's not a fluke. That's over a steadied long period of time. And so they have our attention. And I've known Mark literally since he was about in college and high school. I've known his wife forever. You know, we have a great respect for them. They are not sneaking up on us. We really respect the way they play. They're playing with great joy and confidence right now. It's really obvious. I watched their last 6 games, and I started with 6 games ago. And just to watch their confidence grow throughout that time, I was like, wow, they're playing really good basketball. And it's going to be really different styles. They're also one of the slowest paced teams in the entire country. And we're going to want to speed the game up. They're going to want to slow the game down. And so if we're able to create enough sort of chaos and speed that we're able to get out and transition a little bit more, or are they going to be able to really control the pace of play and the amount of possessions by their pick and roll game with those 2 really efficient players? And they really shoot the 3 well. They shoot the 3 better than we do. It's going to be really important that we try to chase them off the 3-point line, and that we don't get into a game where we're trading 3s and 2s.
Does that make this an interesting regional then? Because you got Sacramento State, who kind of plays that patient, methodical style, but then in the other matchup, you've got the 2nd highest scoring team in the nation, and then you've got Portland that's also got a unique style in its own.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you've got 4 really different teams. And so what I love is that the intrigue of all that, right? I mean, there's a lot of ways you can win basketball games. There's a lot of styles in which you can use. And so it's really about how do you create what you have with your individual pieces and the talent pieces that you have, and how well and how disciplined can you create a picture that's bigger than those individual pieces. And each of us 4 teams at this site are doing that really differently, but still doing it at a really high level. And so I think it's going to be, from a fan's perspective, what a cool opportunity to see these different styles, different places. I mean, literally players from all over the world on these 4 teams. And I just think it's going to be a great opportunity to see good basketball.
Any last questions?
Thank you, Coach.
Oh, one more. Here we go.
Emily Bessoir, has she kind of been the just seeing her development this year, has she kind of been your most improved player, and seeing how she recovered from the knee injury, both her and Gina just coming back?
I think she has been. And I think she's really a key to our team. You know, she's our tallest player, so people don't expect it this way, but I really think we run a lot of things through her. She creates the spacing on the floor that we really need. She's now being much more aggressive in the post, so if you were going to switch and match up with her on a guard to take away the 3-point shot, she's now being much more confident to go inside. I'm most impressed with how her defense has improved. We really challenged her about a quarter of a way through Pac-12, that was her limiting factor, and we needed that to grow, and she's been really able to switch out on more screens. Her post defense has improved, her rebounding numbers have gone up, and so she's really been a catalyst to our improvement, and she's got such a good IQ. She's been really, really fun to watch her grow, both in her mentality as well as in her productivity. Another side note with her is that she and Niara Sabali, who's the assistant coach on the Sac State side, they grew up together, and they're really, really close friends, and so fun to see that German connection coming through. And then we got the young one in Lena Zontag coming up as well. So connections all over the place.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you all. Appreciate it.